Today is a little more controversial, but it is something that I really do believe in, and that is labels. That I see so many posts on Facebook and socials and basically using these labels, using their whatevers as excuses. Oh, well, I would be polite, or this is why I interrupt you because my ADHD. I'm kind of an a-hole because of my ADHD. I'm kind of this because my ADHD. I can't show up on work on time because I have, spectrum this. I can't because that. Well, and this, I'm sorry, but this is a bunch of baloney. They're just excuses. Like, yes, we have these quirks. For example, I know, like myself growing up, if I were to be tested, I almost guarantee I would be on the spectrum somewhere. I have OCD. I am extraordinarily particular. I have all these quirks that my boyfriend laughs at, and he thinks I'm a little bit crazy, and he doesn't understand a lot of them. And that's fine. He doesn't have to. He just has to understand that I have them. That's all I need from him. And it was one of those, like, when I was in school, I would doodle so I could listen to the teacher. So I was always getting in trouble because I wasn't paying attention. But my mind works so quickly, and I always, like, ADHD, I'm da 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 da, squirrel shiny da da da. So I had to pull my focus into something, so I would doodle, but that's what pulled my attention enough so that I could listen to the teacher, right? There wasn't medication, there wasn't these labels, these colors, these codings. It was just, this is what I need to do to pay attention. And it's funny because I remember my mom, in one of the parent teacher interviews, the teacher was like, I I was always an honor student, right? And the teacher being like, I don't know how she gets these good grades because I don't see her paying attention. But I always was. If you called on me, I could always answer the question. I was not paying attention so I could pay attention. Right. So in my day and age growing up, we just found tricks. We found ways to work with our quirks and do what we had in order to succeed. That was as simple as it was. It wasn't, I can't get 82 because I have ADHD. It was like, okay, I'm a little bit different. I have this weird little thing. How am I still going to get that good grade? How am I still going to learn? Figure it out. Right. And similarly, again, there's so many different ways to overcome things, to work with things, to break it down. Even I used to have really bad social anxiety. Well, I got together with a complete social extrovert who literally does not understand alone time or me time, or he does not understand why any human needs to be alone ever. That's how social he is. And I got thrown in the deep end of the social scene always, and it was exposure therapy. I either had to stay in the corner and never be seen and potentially have to break up with my boyfriend because he was such a social butterfly. That was a huge part of his life. It's still a huge part of who he is. Or I had to learn how to socialize, even if I was awkward AF, even if I was just so uncomfortable, my skin was crawling, even if I did or said something and I kind of wanted to die. I was there. I was going to be there for him. So, how do I get through this? How do I overcome this? How do I get past this? And I did. I learned. Now you can throw me in any social setting. I can literally not know anyone in the room. Yes. Will I be uncomfortable? Yes. Will I be sweating? Yes. Will I feel horribly awkward? Yes. Will I just find someone to talk to, start up a conversation, and get to know people because I've learned the skills how to do this? Yes. Will I have friends by the end of that night? Yes. Because I'm not going to let that quirk hold me back. I've learned, I've busted through, I know better, I can do better, so I do, right? So it's not about, oh, I can't because of. It's, what do I need to do because of? How do I overcome this? How do I problem solve because I have this? Right? So, and I'm going to be super real now too, especially when it comes to ADHD, guys. Screens. This these things make ADHD. They literally cause ADHD. Having all of this instant gratification and growing up on cell phones, especially if you're younger than I am. I was the last generation pretty much born without cell phones. And it is a proven fact. You can Google this. There are oodles of research studies, scientific research showing that anyone under the age of 12, if you even have like, I think it's like 10 or 15 minutes of screen time a day playing these games, it overdevelops the frontal cortex, causing permanent ADHD, causing these issues. And that doesn't mean adults, our brains are always fixing. Fun fact, we have 7 microstrokes in our lives that we never know we have. Our brains create new pathways. It works around, it just adjusts, heals, and keeps on going. And these phones, the screen time, all of these things, we adjust, our brains are growing, and we keep on going. So even us, by having that instant gratification, that always the Amazons, the everything on demand, we have completely stripped ourselves of having any patience whatsoever, which also creates ADHD like symptoms because we're not used to waiting. We want it now. We're bored now. I want entertainment now. That's not a diagnosis, that's a lifestyle problem. And even if you have the diagnosis, it's still the same problem. So we need to work on, honestly, being okay with being bored, being accepting, like even purposely ordering something that we don't need right away. So we actually have to wait for it. Like we need to get back to being used to and being able to have patience, right? All of these different things. But that's it's a real big one because I think at this point everyone I joke sometimes, but I'm not joking. Everyone and their dog has ADHD. Everyone and their dog is on the spectrum somewhere. So politely, can we get over the labels and just figure out what we need to do for each of us to just keep on keeping on and be the best versions of ourselves we can be? Not let these labels hold us back. Oh, I can't because it's just an excuse. Everyone can. There's been so many people out there that have busted these myths wide open, that have proven those stories wrong. So I know I picked on a few specific ones there, but I didn't want to drag all the everything. It's just examples. It's just examples of what we have going on in our life. And I think it's easy to just like, oh, I struggle with this. I can't seem to grasp this. Oh, it must be like even myself. I can't fully. I really struggled with this living from the end, the act as if. It really, really, I struggled with it. And at one point, I'm like, it's because I'm such a linear thinker. I am so analytical. I am so like masculine side brain, like factual. I just couldn't, like, what do you mean act as if? That's pretend, that's not real, I'm lying. Like, I really had a hard time grasping it. Now, I could have just said, oh, I can't because because of my linear thinking. I can't because whatever. But I was like, okay, I have linear thinking. How can I adjust what people are telling me, the advice they're giving me on how to achieve this to work for my way of thinking and my thought process? And I did. I found a way to do this and it worked. It took me a heck of a lot longer because there was no one out there to help me. No one really understood what I was going through. They're just like, "Oh, just act as if." And I'm like, "But I can't just act as if. I can't, my brain doesn't function how others, and giving me the generic advice doesn't help me." So it took me over a year to figure it out, whereas other people had it in like 2 months. So it's again patience of knowing you'll get there. But if you don't have that support, then it might just take you longer to figure it out your way. That's okay. You will get there. It's just adjust, 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 right? So I hope this really helps because this is a big one for me. Again, I see so much on the socials. Oh, sorry, I'm kind of, again, I'm kind of an a-hole because my ADHD, I interrupted because, oh, my ADHD, you interrupted because you have no patience and you can't hold on to a thought because you don't practice your willpower and your focus enough to hold on to that thought till the person is done speaking. You've allowed yourself and given yourself an excuse to be a jerk. Practice willpower, practice patience, practice focus, practice your memory if you have to. There's a ton of ways to do this. So anyway, I will stop ranting. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you've heard people use excuses like this, if you accept them, if you use them. I think we all have in the past. It's just becoming aware of when we say it or when we're thinking it and not accepting the excuse, being like, again, back to my linear thinking. Oh, hey, I have linear thinking. Wait. There is a way. Everyone can do this. What's going to be my way? How can I adjust? How can I try and make this work? Instead of just like, this is my excuse. I can't. Oh, here I am. Victim me. La, la, la. Right? All right. All right, guys. Have a very wonderful rest of your day.